Well, hello, and welcome to Gallifrey's Most Wanted. I'm Ross Aiken. I'm Old Who.
Who are you? Where am I?
And I'm Mark Cockrum, and I'm Missing Who.
What the hell is this place?
Oh, a good one. I like that one. Welcome, Mark. Hey, Mark, you've never been on a Gallifrey, because I've just started to have guests on Gallifrey. No, wait a minute. Have you been on a Gallifrey?
No, I think way back.
Yeah, you were on one.
It's been so long.
It's been too long since we've chatted. But it's nice to have you back and filling in for Vic.
You.
And we're going to do... I'm hitting a lot of Christmas ones.
Let's just get something straight here, Ross. No one can fill in for Vic.
Yes, I know.
Vic is a legend.
Yeah, I wish she was doing this. This is her doctor. Uh-huh. This is her doctor.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day, she may return.
Yes, I'm hoping so. So we're going to be talking Runaway Bride, another Christmas one, and in a couple weeks, in another month, I've got another Christmas. We're hitting that time in the loop where we're at Christmas stories on all the doctors. So we're going to do this is the second Christmas special.
Yes, that's right.
So, and it is Runaway Bride, and it was a special between seasons 2 and 3. And it's a really kind of important one. So let's jump to synopsis from the program guide by Paul Smith, and we'll be right back. The Runaway Bride. Serial 2X. Writer, Russell T. Davies. Director, Eros Lynn. Producer, Phil Collinson. Executive producer, Russell T. Davies and Julie Gardner. Originally aired December 25th, 2006. Donna Noble is walking up the aisle on her wedding day on Christmas Eve when she is mysteriously transported into the TARDIS in space. She stridently demands to be taken back to Earth, but they land miles from the church and are unable to pay for a taxi. While Donna tries to phone her mom, the doctor uses his sonic screwdriver to get her money from a cash point. Donna finds another taxi, but the doctor realizes the driver is one of the Santa roboforms that heralded the Sycorax last year and gives chase in the TARDIS. It weaves among the traffic until it's hovering alongside a speeding taxi, and Donna fearfully jumps across. As the TARDIS recovers, Donna tells the doctor how she met her fiancé Lance and how she started working as a secretary at H.C. Clements. They get to the reception where Donna deflects everybody's questions by pretending to be upset. The doctor watches a video of the wedding ceremony and recognizes the energy that transported Donna. She is saturated with Huron particles that are drawn to those in the heart of the TARDIS. The roboforms find them and activate explosive baubles on the Christmas trees. The doctor amplifies the sound system and shakes the roboforms to pieces. He, Donna, and Lance go to the offices of H.C. Clements, previously owned by Torchwood, where they discover a secret basement that leads to a laboratory beneath the Thames barrier. Here, Huron particles are being synthesized, and there is a borehole almost to the center of the planet. They are confronted by the Empress of the Rachnos, a giant red spider-like creature who teleports down from her orbiting web star. She is the last of her omnivorous species, which was wiped out billions of years ago. The treacherous Lance has been dosing Donna with Huron particles for the last 6 months in order to revive the Empress's hibernating children at the center of the Earth, where they've been since the formation of the planet. As they awaken and begin to ascend, the web star descends over London and fires on the crowds of Christmas shoppers. However, the doctor uses the explosive baubles to breach the walls of the lab and let in the water of the Thames, which drowned all of the Empress's children. She escapes her web star, but is destroyed by army tanks under the orders of Mr. Saxon. The doctor invites Donna to travel with him, but wary of his ruthlessness, she declines. This story marks the first appearance of Donna Noble, return as a full-time companion in Series 4. Another great synopsis from the New Who program guide by Paul Smith with the foreword by the amazing Jean-Marc L'Officier. All right, Mark. Before we started recording, we were both talking. It's been a long time since either of us had watched this.
Yeah.
So what was your take on it now, after whatever many years since you watched it last?
Well, to answer your question with a totally different answer, I remember at the time being a bit, not nonplussed, but not overexcited because I wasn't a huge fan of the Catherine Tate show. Catherine Tate show at that point on BBC TV was huge. It was massive. So this was a huge piece of casting. And I kind of had my preconceptions of what the character was going to be like. And to be fair, in this one, it's not a million miles away from what I was expecting. But coming back to it this time, I think I enjoyed it a heck of a lot more.
You know what? I mean, I liked it. I didn't know who she was. I knew Are You Bothered? I had seen a few things. Seen Nan, and I like Nan. Nan's a great character. And I've seen her interviewed. And she's an interesting interview because she's oblivious to a lot of stuff that normal people know.
Yeah.
She's just, and that just, I get it. She lives in the world of theater and acting and doing that, so maybe she doesn't, you know, do the things normal people do because it's not a normal life. But when I first saw it, I didn't know who she was, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
This time, and I was really happy when she came back because I do think they had chemistry.
Yeah.
A lot more chemistry than he has with. Well, he had different chemistry. I think Tennant has chemistry with all his companions on a different level. But
I think that's fair.
She becomes one of my she is one of my favorite companions.
I remember there being a bit of an outcry when they announced that she was coming back as the permanent companion. But I think even then I was thinking, well, there's no way they're going to have that same kind of energy as she had in the Christmas special because you can't prolong that over a 13-episode run. There's just no way you can do that. And in between, I don't know if it was before that Christmas special or in between her spells, I had seen her in the BBC did a production of Bleak House.
Is that the one with the Phil Ford and the guy in the chair?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is that's what I love. I love that one. He's
so good.
When he says "shake me" and they shake him and you hear the bone.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
You shudder. Yeah.
It is.
So it was only a small role, but she was really good in that. So I had an inkling that she had what it took to really bring something special to that sort of companion role.
She does it. Comedians can be better dramatic actors because they're doing comedy's harder. Yeah. So and a lot of comedy is pathos, is that underlying sadness or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And Donna doesn't know what she wants. And that's that's a neat character trait. And I think you see it in this because you see her grow in just this one episode. She's selfish. She's clueless to the world around her. Like she doesn't remember all these alien invasions because I was hungover. I was scuba diving. I was in Spain.
Yeah.
I love that line. There were Cybermen in Spain. And she's like, and she's oblivious to it. And I think we've all met this woman. When in this country we'd call him a Karen.
Oh yeah. She's got way over here.
Yeah, she's got a bit of a Karen to her. But I forgot how good this one was and how fun this era was.
Yeah.
And how basic looking compared to like later Moffat, the Chibnall special effects that they were using during lockdown, and what we're going to get from the next batch of stories. This is really it's like almost like watching old classic Who when this just came out. Like, wow, this is a lot of really basic. There's less flash.
Yeah. But lots of character moments.
Yeah, and when you have moments like the TARDIS flying down the highway, and I remember I remember the first time I saw that and went, oh, you can do that.
Yeah.
That's cool, when they would, if they're going to have like a blockbuster sequence, they'd have one, and they'd go through hard. But I forgot how good this one was, but how still simple. It's not that, it's a really kind of simple story that allows you, they have the moments where the doctor's grieving Rose, you have the flashbacks, you see Donna kind of go, wow, being part of this adventure is cool, and I'm a better person. It's really good. I like them.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like big chunks of it.
It's an immediate follow-on from the very end of season 2, isn't it? Because she appears in the TARDIS at the end.
Yeah, I liked those things when they did that.
Yeah.
It made you kind of go, let's end every season on a cliffhanger.
And then when this one starts, you get to see that scene again, but from her point of view.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I forgot about that. And all the great characters at the wedding and stuff like that. But when this was, were you a big Davies fan? I mean, I don't know. We all changed because there's how many years since this came out now?
Oh goodness, I can't even remember what year it came out now. Is it 2006?
2006, yes.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'd been a fan since the 70s. Well, very tail end of the 70s, and I'd always sort of had a hope that it might come back. So when it came back in 2005, and then when it was such a huge hit and it was just so popular, and people you wouldn't have imagined being interested in it were chatting about it, and it was just incredible. So there's that tremendous wave of goodwill coming from that first series, and I think that carried it for quite some time.
Yeah.
So I think in my heart of hearts, I'm more of a Moffat fan. But I do like the RTD era. Yeah,
and I loved all this, and for me as a fan in America, where it's like there weren't there are a lot of Doctor Who fans, but it was more a cult thing than a mainstream thing. Our mainstream things were like Star Trek and Battlestar and other things like that. But I forgot how much energy and fun these early ones were, and I go back and watch them every time we go through. I mean, because I haven't watched a lot of Modern Who in the last few years, unless I was covering it for the show or it was new stuff coming out. Because, and I've said it over the last couple of months on the podcast, it's because I've watched it every time a new season. There'd be such hype.
Yeah.
And a hype we had never known worldwide. And this is about the time it started airing same day.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was like in Martha's era when we finally got it on BBC America at 8 o'clock our time, so it'd be in the middle of the night your time.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's when it really started to gear up in America, because the Tennant years were particularly popular, and as you got towards that last season, it really took off, and then it just went to another level. With Matt Smith's first season, they really went to town, and I think they were trying to really make a big effort to make it work in the States.
Yeah, I think they did a good job, because I don't think they change anything about the show.
No.
But the production values were more in line with what we expect.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also marketed better. I think that's what we're going to see. We're seeing a little bit now with, Russell Davies is out taking photographs on the set and making sure we're not forgetting, teasing us. There's a little more of that. And I think they're going to try to repeat that.
Yeah.
Which will be good. I think, as much as I've loved every year of Modern Who, I do, every once in a while, I think you got to kick a show in the pants.
Yeah. Yeah, so, shake it up a bit.
Yeah. But what I think worked in the Davies stuff is the relationships. Like I'm so glad he didn't have to create a new companion post Martha.
Yeah.
And that she came back, because.
Well, that's what it was going to be, wasn't it? There was going to be a new companion.
Yeah, the reporter character. Yeah. And it was like, and when I heard that, because they kind of stuff was coming out because he talks. And before, and I read his book, the book him and Benjamin Cook did.
Yes.
And you kind of get an idea what it would have been like, and it would have been just a Sarah Jane knockoff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more, okay, he's starting to create a companion based on their profession.
Yeah.
And I think with the strength of what makes the one we're talking about, Runaway Bride, work so well is the chemistry between Tennant and Tate. And
it's very obvious on the screen. You can see that they really enjoy being together.
Yeah, they ride off each other's energy, and it does create a real relationship. There's subtle moments when they get back to the wedding.
Yeah.
And you start to realize they've already got a shorthand, and she likes him. She gives him crap, but you know, it's been crazy. But
I love how they went ahead and had the evening do without her.
Oh, yeah.
Even though she disappeared off the face of the earth.
Well, you paid for the liquor.
Yeah.
But it's just so good, and the Santas being back, the chase scene, and there's a level of camp to the villain.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would more like, oh my God. Which I like a bit of camp. I do.
Yeah.
But it's just so over the top, and it's Sarah Parrish, isn't it?
Yeah, she's such a good actor as well.
Oh my God!
Isn't she the one that was in Blackpool as well?
Yeah.
Am I misremembering?
Yeah. No, she played the cops, the gangster's wife.
David Morrissey's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching that because I had seen Casanova before Tenet was announced, and when he was announced, I went, "Oh, all right, I get it."
Yeah.
Casanova's one of my. I own that, and I've watched probably a dozen.
That's a great production, isn't it?
It is amazing. It's very theatrical,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of like that. I like, me and my wife went and saw Rent at the university where she works last night.
Yeah.
And I like a good theater show. I like theater. I like it when it is theatrical and bigger and spectacle. And what I liked about this one was it was kind of like a B movie in a lot of ways. It's got a lot of good humor. Like she goes, there's a secret base under a major London landmark, and he goes, yeah. So there were a lot of cliches, but everything kind of worked. The flow.
Yeah.
The guest cast is amazing. Who's it plays her husband or fiance?
I cannot remember the guy's name, but
Don Gillette
yes,
who I recognize. So I've seen him in a ton of other stuff. But he's so good. He's so good.
Even some of the smaller parts, like she mentions Neris a few times, and you see her at the wedding, and even though she barely gets a line, you know straight away what their backstory is and their whole kind of beef they've got going on. So
good. My God. And I love it that she comes back.
Yes.
That, and she's actually a bridesmaid in the second wedding. So it's like, we've all had those friends where you go, you guys are friends? You seem to hate each other. Yeah. Well, I hate her. Yeah, she hates me, but we're friends. So, it's just such a well-crafted 50 minutes of television, or an hour. This was a longer one. That's right. This one was over an hour. Because I remember that Davies had, it's Christmas. I want an extra 10 minutes or something. And they gave him whatever he wanted.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's got all the elements of what I feel makes a good Christmas episode work.
Yeah. Because
it has to appeal to a wider audience than just your bog standard. You and I will tune in no matter what.
Yeah.
But to try and bring in the general audience, you have to go a bit broader, but not to the extent that you're undermining the story. I think it's balanced really well.
Yeah, and that's what I like, because a lot of the Christmas, and I joke about this, but the Christmas specials are either, my favorite ones are the ones that are simpler. They're one and done. Christmas Carol, this.
Yeah.
The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe one, which I always can forget the real name of it. But because the other ones are all about the doctor dying.
Yeah.
It becomes too much. I like it. I prefer it when it's like they've regenerated. Mm-hmm. I think that's what we're getting this Christmas with Scooty Gatwa's first one.
I think you could be right, yeah.
Which is fine. We're going to get 3 tenants because it's and now we've seen, and they're going camp now. There's a bit of camp coming up, so that's making that. I thought of that in this.
I have to say, you're fond of a bit of cosplay, aren't you, Ross?
Yeah.
I am looking forward to seeing you rocking that blue suit that Shooty's wearing in some of those photos from the 60s. I think you could pull it off.
Man, I couldn't get it buttoned. There's some clothes. It's like, how are you running in that, man? That's a great costume. That latest one they showed with him in the nice tight afro.
Yeah.
I was a little worried, Scooty. These are more fashion statements than, but since he's going to have different ones, that may be like Pertwee, like part of his
He's one of those
personality.
guys that you could make him wear a bin bag and it would still look great.
Yeah, I have a feel. I got a little clothes-wise John Pertwee kind of thing where it's he's going to have a different costume every story.
Yeah.
He's going to be
love
sharp.
that. I think that's a great idea.
I hate it when they wear the same damn clothes the whole time. It's just unsanitary. It's just,
I made that exact comment.
Please at least the bottom layers changing.
Yeah.
Please.
I was on Amso with a blunt penknife the other day with Joe Ford, and we were doing the Horns of Nymon, and I don't know how we got into it, but that's right, because it was Tom's last time wearing the sort of season 17 get-up, so they changed it up every now and again. They changed the shirt out, or they changed the jacket. Whereas from season 18, it's just like everyone's wearing a uniform. And I said to him at the time, that console room must have absolutely stank to high heaven.
Oh, I know. It's just like, come on. Especially like Nyssa wearing that fur. How hot are you?
Yeah. Patrick in his pajamas.
Yeah, that's really gross. That's really, really rank. Because, he's supposed to be a teenage boy, so he's going to smell anyway.
Oh, no. Let's not go there.
Well, no. My mom was so glad when I moved out because she had 3 boys in a row.
Yeah.
And we're 10. It's a 10-year span between me and the oldest one. And so she was like, there was a smell in my house for 15 years that I could not find. And she goes, it was either ass or feet. It's like,
wow.
It's like, you guys were gross. It's like, sorry, Mom. But yeah, I liked it. I'm looking forward to his costume. I'm looking forward to Davies being back because watching this made me go, I really did enjoy it. It was entertaining. And when he did big ones, he did big ones. They're okay. I'm always a little disappointed in the big spectaculars at the end of a season sometimes.
Yeah, I think my only kind of maybe more negative thing to say about the RTD original era was I just feel like he felt he had to go one better each time with the finale, and it just got to the point. I mean, I really enjoyed the finale for season 4, but it just feels like it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can only go so far with that.
Yeah, and I've always said I don't like that. I think it's a mistake. I just think tell a good story. Make sure you know what I've watched other shows, and I watched Star Trek Discovery, and Akira Goldsmith, he was talking about it, and he was like, I learned one thing in the first season is do not start writing a serialized or a story arc season without knowing what the final episode is.
Yeah.
You have to know where you're going. That way, you don't get to the end and go, oh, shit, I don't have an ending. So if you know the ending, you just make the other pieces thematically fit. Yeah, and it's much easier. And I think with Davies is sometimes because they liked how much Bad Wolf worked.
Yeah.
And then they were how clever Torchwood was.
Well, this is the first instance, unless I'm mistaken, of Mr. Saxon, or did they mention
this
him
is the first Saxon, yeah.
Yeah.
And who vote Saxon? I preferred those little ones, kind of like it's
just
this.
dropped in, yeah.
Yeah, but even actually, I don't mind the season 3 finale. I kind of like it. I get Dobby Doctor bugs the shit out of me.
I think when he turns into Jesus at the end, I think that's probably jumping the shark a bit for me. But
there are a couple in there. But there's a couple in there. But this one does the big, and it works, and it's very much like there was aspects of it that were big, but they're also kind of like throwbacks to old Who, kind of like the big monster and the campness. It was refreshing to go back to this era and see how much just fun it was.
I think that's where, in my opinion, when Doctor Who's at its best, is that perfect balance between the scary and the funny.
Yeah, it's got to be lighthearted. You got to let the kids catch their breath, and even any of the audience. I think that's why Tennant is kind of like the Tom Baker of the 21st century. He's that doctor.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that, when there's a bit of me that doesn't, I hold him in high regard, but he's never going to be my biggest favorite Doctor because he's the popular one. It's why I was never, I get a little, I kind of joke about Tom Baker, but every time I watch a Tom Baker story, I go, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I know. He's really good at this. So what, is there when you were watching this back then, and you were saying that you didn't know what, you were kind of leery because of Tate. Did you, when watching it the first time, did you get over that during it, or did you have to go back to it to get over it?
Yeah, it wasn't a problem watching it. I was kind of going into it with a, probably wrongly, with a preconception of what she was going to be like, and it wasn't a million miles away from that. But it was entertaining. They put together a good episode. It was fun. It had, I thought, a fun monster. The way they realised it, considering the budget they had and how effects were,
and that it's
still
practical,
basic back then. Yeah,
it's practical.
Really good.
She's actually up in that contraption, and they're making her move.
Yeah,
that's what I kind of liked. That a lot of it was practical.
Yeah,
and
she is chewing the scenery. She's great.
Oh yeah, she is, and because she can, it's like I'm dressed as a fucking giant red spider with these fucking teeth in. Yeah. She's probably doing ADR later, because it's like, if you've ever watched like an old behind the scenes of Next Gen, every once in a while Michael Dorn will talk and his Klingon teeth will hit somebody in the chest, and he's got to pick them up and wash them off. And sometimes it's like you got to go back and redo it, but she's so good in it. Excuse us, my wife is coming through.
Hi.
Mark says hi. Mark Cockrum. She says hi back.
Shardy and say hi.
Oh, hi. Hey, Hugs is in the crate because she was getting antsy.
Oh. That's fine.
Hi.
I'll make sure to bring her out here and get her barking in.
She's starting to bring the dog out of the crate. But
Special for you.
I really like Sarah Parrish in this, and I like these kind of big villains. I like the speechifying. He's got some great moments in the tunnels. It just great because Tennant loves a Doctor moment more than I think anybody else.
It gets really dark at the end as well, doesn't it?
See,
for all the fun and everything.
And that's a big thing about. I'm glad you brought it up, because I forgot. I kind of blocked that out, because Davies makes it very light, but he also he never stops driving home his idea that if you're going to do all the things the Doctor did, that you'd be a little broken. That post-traumatic stress disorder thing that he really never, he does not have, when he leaves, him and Tennant leave, that's still there. Yeah. And that, the thing that I harp on, that the Doctor is not a pacifist in any way, shape, or form, because he nudges other people to do dangerous things. Yeah. And people die. But you're fighting a bad guy, a tyrant. People are going to die. You're fighting. Sometimes if you're going to, there are casualties to saving the day.
Yeah, I think it's how you present it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Tennant. I think everyone that's played the Doctor has been really great in their own way. Oh, yeah. But I feel like the ones I warm to more are the ones that feel more like he's just, or she, they're just this bumbling person who ends up walking into this mess and tries to sort it out the best way they know how, without really knowing what they're doing. And by the end, they resolve it. Whereas I think in RTD's time, it got to the point you had the whole lonely god thing, and I think you can take that so far, and then you have to have a reset somewhere.
Yeah, that's my thing. And even as a Moffat fan, there's a bit of Moffat does a thing that everybody knows who the Doctor is. He does all this crazy stuff. He's this savior, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, that needs to go away. It gets a little old. And that's why I kind of like when Capaldi is, because that whole 3-season arc is him trying to go, what am I? Yeah. Because I've been this thing for the last 3 generations. So, and because he's so much lighter toward the end.
Yeah, I just rewatched The Husbands of River Song for another podcast, and so good in that.
Oh my God!
What an actor! He's got everything.
That is my favorite Capaldi moment. Is where he says "Hello, sweetie."
Mm-hmm.
It's just boom.
It's such a beautiful speech as well, just before that as well.
Oh yeah, and see, I'm a big Moffat fan. Speechify, man. Just give me the words. And I'm a Matt Smith fan. It's just, God, he's my doctor still. And I don't know. There was a rumor. He's back. Yeah. I don't. Until I see it, I won't believe it.
I don't tend to go looking for spoilers, but
they just pop up, and it's normally the people I know. There are a couple people I see their name attached to the YouTube video and goes, shit, man, how can you make all that shit up? And I just saw a couple of them. I don't think they're making it up intentionally. I think they fixate on something and make themselves believe it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, stop trying to guess. But this one you have the heavy moment, but I don't think, and you're back to that, because Davies does have these heavy moments. And this whole thing where when they say goodbye, she is so good. When he comes back out and goes, God, you're loud. And she goes, I think you need someone.
Yeah.
So
someone needs to stop you.
Yeah, because but does some crazy things, you know, and it's such a nice thing. He's such a good actor, and she's so good in it. And I remember after this, they did a stage production of Much Ado.
Yes, we went to see it. Me and my wife went to see that.
I kind of didn't like it.
Okay.
The designer person in me did not like the setting. I was like, I would not have chose, a cruise,
You didn't like the reversing golf cart with the little beep beep?
I didn't mind that. It was just more the costumes, and that it was at a vacation place really was like, really? Mm-hmm. Really? But they were great in it.
Yeah. I mean, I know next to nothing about Shakespeare. My wife is the Shakespeare fan, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm a big fan of Shakespeare. I'll go to any Shakespeare. There's some I've never seen, and we have a theater company in Richmond called Richmond Shakespeare Company. Mm-hmm. And
David Tennant was very complimentary about your theater when he visited recently, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, which one did he go to? I think he may have gone to he either went to Virginia Rep, it's an old theater. Mm-hmm. When they filmed Lincoln, Spielberg filmed Lincoln, they used it for Ford's Theater.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. We've used to get a lot of movie work in this town. Because we could be any number of other cities. But yeah, it is a nice theater. We got a couple. We got an old Lowe's movie house. You guys didn't have Lowe's, but in the old days, studios owned the movie theaters too.
Okay.
And Lowe's was owned by Warner Brothers, and our Lowe's has been turned into a big theater, and our Richmond Shakespeare Company does it. But we have one, and I've seen King John, and I'm a big fan of Shakespeare and film. I love watching how you can adapt it, because film allows you to do different things. And Branagh stuff, how he uses soliloquy sometimes is literally the actor talking to the audience, and it should always remain that. I don't like it when Roman Polanski did a Macbeth, and the soliloquies are always done with the actor's mouth not moving.
Right.
It's annoying as shit. It's just bad. But I like it when they turn and talk to you, because I don't know if you've ever seen the Lawrence Fishburne, Kenneth Branagh Othello.
Oh no, that sounds good.
Oh, his Iago, when he turns to do the soliloquies as Iago, his right-hand man, Branagh is basically talking to the audience, and the pure glee and joy he has in destroying Othello and Desdemona for his own machinations. He is just so proud of himself and so happy that it makes the evilness of it go, oh, you're right. You start rooting for him and go, wait a minute, what the fuck? It's really beautiful. because it is, because he understands, one of my comfort movies is his Henry V.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Ted and them, but I like them as the two main characters in that, because those are parts written for their type of high speed banter. And
it's a nice little break as well, where you've got, obviously, there's a whole romance with Rose, and then you've got the unrequited love with Martha that's going to come the season after that. So I think it's nice just to have a companion that is just a best friend, and they go on adventures together and have a laugh and hang out.
I can't agree more. I mean, that's one reason that, and I'm going to make a statement I'm going to ask you, because of that, I think in Modern Who, this is the best pairing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works the best from beginning, middle, and end. There are no really bad episodes with them together.
Mm-hmm.
She can carry an episode by herself.
Yeah.
I mean, she turned left. That is, that one made me go, it's like, why isn't she doing dramas? Because she's carrying that whole episode.
Yeah. And
she's just amazing at it. And I think that if you look at the different conventions, I'm a big Martha fan.
Yeah.
I really think Rose is a bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
I have a problem.
But then she's written that way, and I think that's, it's good to have a bit of light and shade. If she was just the perfect person, then, it gets a bit cookie cutter, whereas she's got these, she's pretty awful to Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
And, she just has rough edges.
Yeah, she's come from a rough life, and she's gotten out of it, and she, and this new adventure doesn't end the way she wants. See, that's what I like is, I get a little tired of the companion leaving because something bad happens.
Yeah.
That is just, and I like Martha's exit.
Mm-hmm.
I did not, there are parts of Donna's exit that Vic pointed out, we've talked about it, that what he does to her, wiping her memory, is just such an horrific act. Mm. And I think it's meant to be that way.
Yeah.
I don't think Davies is saying it's right. I think he's saying it's fucking terrible. And the Doctor does it for all what he thinks are the right reasons. And I like what Moffat does when we revisit that kind of a thing.
Yes.
Bill tells the first episode with Bill, and she goes, how would you like it if someone wiped your memory? And you realize, he goes, oh, wait a minute, someone has. I don't remember Clara. Oh, shit, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to see what they do with her coming back. But this is such a good setup, because when she comes back in a year, it's like no time has passed.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to Christmas specials, because we're doing one, do you have a favorite?
I do love A Christmas Carol.
Okay, that's my favorite too.
Great.
So I knew you had good taste. It's got Michael Gambon. I think it's the funnest.
And it's very Christmassy as well.
Yeah, that's the hard. None of them are really Christmassy.
No.
Wait a minute, the line with
that's it. Yeah.
That's more so.
And wedding, not wedding, Husbands of River Song.
Yes.
It's a lovely one.
Yeah. They're all fun. I even like as a comic nerd, I love Dr. Mysterio.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a lot of fun. And that Nardo came back, and I was like going, how is he going to be? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, another is, I feel like there's history repeating itself. It's another one of those where I was like, I'm not sure about him being in it again. And yet, then he came back as the permanent companion, and I thought it really worked.
I thought that's
those
a good
three together.
Oh
great.
My God, that his goodbye.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to come back and kick your ass. It's like, but I guess it's the thing. It's like the smart casting that Davies is good about casting.
And I think Andy Pryor needs to get a lot of
he does
the kudos for that.
When that he can convince somebody to come. That he found people like Freema Agyeman. Billie Piper was, she was big over there. I didn't know who the hell she was, but that had all of you scratching your heads, didn't it?
Well, I think she had been in, what what was
It
it?
was that Shakespeare's Tale thing.
Yeah.
Shakespeare adaptation.
It was. No, it wasn't Shakespeare, was it? It was. Oh God, my.
Oh, Canterbury Tales.
Canterbury Tales. That's right. Yeah, she was in that, and there had been. Now, because I'm old and my memory is a bit wibbly wobbly.
Was it the Ruby?
Yeah, she'd been in those Philip Pullman adaptations as well.
Yeah. But I didn't know who she was. I knew she'd, and I saw one on YouTube and found the pop star stuff, and I was like, what the fuck? What is
well, yeah,
this?
she was well known in the UK as a pop star from, I think she was like 14 or 15 when she became really popular.
Yeah, now she's one of the biggest actresses you've got.
She's great.
Oh my God, she's amazing. A lot of this, like her new HBO show, I didn't watch because it's like I'm not watching a rich woman boo-hoo-hoo a better life. I can't do it. I don't fucking care. Oh, look, a rich white person is, my life is miserable. I'm famous. Yeah, go fuck yourself. It's just, people watching Succession, which is basically a drama around like a Murdoch kind of family. I'm like, I'd be rooting for their helicopter to crash. Why are we fixated on the machinations of spoiled rich white folk? But I like the casting of her and the way this episode just flies. I'm gushing about it, and I don't have anything really to criticize or think about it. And it was just not, I think the biggest thing I get from watching it recently again was I hadn't watched it. I forgot, maybe I need to watch some more early modern Who, because I haven't in a while. And we got a new one coming up, and I'm going to announce in this episode now, my next guest for Impossible Astronaut will be my wife, who is not, she's watched maybe 3 episodes of Doctor Who. So,
wow.
She is going to fill in. She has watched The Unearthly Child. She sat through that, and she actually was like, that's kind of cool. I'm like, all right, you liked it. She, I showed her Rose, and when the mannequins came to life, she freaked the fuck out. And she goes, that was scary. That's the point.
Yeah. Achievement unlocked.
And then we had a bunch of guests. Vic's nephew and his girlfriend came over, and my buddy Ken came over, and we all watched Jodie's first one. And when Tim Shaw took the teeth and put it on, took up the she screamed from the other room. She did no teeth in the face, man. Jesus. I'm going to mention that when she's on the episode, just so that everybody can hear her scream, no teeth in face, man! She's freaking out in the bedroom.
Well, that's my new ringtone sorted out.
I don't blame her, because it made me kind of go, ooh.
Yeah,
but,
it's great. It's great.
But I'm kind of looking for her to see, I may give her a little homework, have her watch one of the documentaries of I bought those sets where they had like the 3 doctors, and it was one story, and it was the specials from the BBC America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bought those sets. I also bought the Weeping Angels, the Cyberman and Dalek ones, just to kind of, if I wanted to introduce someone to Doctor Who, I went, these are good tools. Nice. So they're, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing,
I can't wait to hear that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm excited about it. So I want to talk more about, because Who's coming back.
Yeah.
And we're going to get RTD2. I'm excited about what I'm seeing. I like Neil Patrick Harris. That's such a get. And please be the toy maker. I really
he's
wanted
dropped
to be the toy maker.
Hints, hasn't he, RTD? He said, could it be the Celestial Toy Maker? Could it be the Master of the Land of Fiction? So that makes me think he's going to be neither, but yeah.
Oh, and oh my good God, what Jinx Monsoon from?
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to say from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Uh-huh.
She just finished playing Roxy Hart on Broadway.
Yeah.
And she had a great one. Her closing night, she sat down and did a Q&A. Mm-hmm. And she had Christine Chenoweth from Wicked.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on. And they had a conversation about how to be a Christian and not be a bigot. Mm-hmm. And she introduced Christine Chenoweth. Said, this is a Christian who doesn't hate trans people. You don't have why, it was very nice. And she's a big time. I like the little video of her in her costume with all the notes on it, and it's very
intriguing.
campy. I'm intrigued. Like she could be the master of the world of fiction, the land of fiction. I would love for him. He does like to bring back little bits of the past, like he did the Makra. Mm-hmm. Lean into, reintroduce, not, because you didn't need to know in when the Makra came back. You didn't need to know Makra.
No.
He's very good about bringing in past things without having to reintroduce it.
Mm-hmm.
That he's going to have Unit and have Kate. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I love her.
Mm-hmm.
She's great. And it's just that, I just can't wait to see where he goes again. I mean, I think he's bringing in the young companion strategically.
Well, I think the casting of both the main leads is just a way of resetting, and I've talked to a lot of my younger friends at work, and they are super excited about Ncuti Gatwa because they've all seen Sex Education. They're like, "Oh wow, he's in it. That's gonna be amazing."
I was talking to a friend, one of my dearest friends. I went to the theater with last night. At dinner, we were talking about, and she goes, "Oh, I know it is." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Yeah, he's doing the Barbie movie. He's got a big part in the Barbie movie."
Yeah.
And this is going to be his breakout thing. This is going to be the thing that puts him over the top. And I think it's great. And because, from what I understand, you guys are going to get Doctor Who the same way, but delivered to you the same way you've always had it delivered.
That's right. But you guys are going to be getting it on Disney Plus. So
is everybody else in the world. And we're going to get everything is moving. Everything. Classic is moving. I think I would not be surprised if... Because over here, we don't get the animated stuff on BritBox. Only Power of the Daleks.
My co-host, Ian, when we do our show, he moved to the States a while ago. And he was quite surprised when he opened up BritBox and there was just nothing there.
It's really gutted. It's why, I have this discussion on my comic podcast and this one about physical media. It's like I don't trust fucking people. I don't trust them. With the comics, it's more like I want these volumes because I do like a book or the comic in my hand.
I'm not so keen on reading on an iPad screen.
I do a lot of mine on my phone because there's a panel-to-panel option. So if I need to do homework, and I can also pull screen grabs. But that's cool because I can do panel by panel, and sometimes it finds a neat panel that I use as art, post to thing.
Yeah.
But things move too much. Star Trek moves, and Disney's about to lay off a bunch of people in the streaming service, and they're gonna kind of take some of their product and license it out to make money that way. Mm-hmm. So. Some of the ABC stuff is going to be on another network. But Doctor Who, Star Wars, Pixar, and Marvel are all going to stay on Disney. Mm-hmm. But some of the Disney stuff is going to end up on Roku and other things.
Okay.
Well, I'm fine with that. But I own all the, I have all the Marvel movies. I have all this, there's certain things that I keep a physical copy.
Things you really love, you want a physical copy of.
Yeah, and also I think sometimes it looks better because it's not compressed.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law, she had to get a new TV because the apps on her TV wouldn't work anymore. The TV was 3 years old, not out of date, or 5 years old. So it's in my office. It's huge.
Yeah.
And watching this was like going, wow, this looked like this was shot on a home camcorder. Mm-hmm. Wow, oh, that's right. Yeah. They didn't go high def until Matt Smith. Mm-hmm. So it looks a little raw and ready. I was kind of hoping watching this one that it was Graham Harper episode.
Yeah.
Because he is, I kind of was sad that no one else used him after Davies. Because I think his Modern Who is some of the best.
Yeah.
And he is good with an action sequence.
Mm-hmm.
It's a surprise when I look at his resume. It's really a lot of soap opera.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
steady
no, it's
check.
a shame.
So I know it's, I'm looking forward to. I think we've had Rachel Talali's coming back. That excites me a great deal.
Yeah, she's great. I mean,
Oh my God! When we saw her at Regen, the last Regen, and we were watching, and they were talking about Hell Bent. Was it Hell Bent? No, it was the one after that. And she was like, "Yeah, I just sold these shots from Sergio Leone," and Vic looked at me, and my eyes were like, she was like, "Did you?" I said, "Fuck no!" And I watch those movies at least once a year.
Yeah.
So she's amazing. I'm excited about a lot of it. I'm excited about some of the magic. I'm hoping the magic is repeated that we have here. I think bringing Donna back with the 14th Doctor, and I'm kind of excited to see what the 14th Doctor is.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think he's going to be different. And we're just not being able to, they're not showing us any of the differences.
Yeah. Just the fact that you have in that little sneak mini trailer that we had where you see just a few brief clips of the stuff that's coming out later this year, and Shooty turns up partway through and says, "What the hell is going on?" I just wonder if it's... I mean, I'm completely pulling this out of my ass, but I just wonder if it's maybe going to link back to what Chibnall was doing with the whole thing with the Doctors crossing over.
Oh, I gotcha.
Whether
the crossroads, I love that.
Yeah.
I really. We haven't talked since Jodie's been the Doctor, so I gotta. I mean, did you enjoy the Chibnall era?
Ooh, I'll be honest, it wasn't my favourite run. There were some great stories in there, and I really loved the historicals. I thought they were fantastic.
Yeah, they need to keep doing them.
Yeah. But yeah, it was peaks and troughs for me.
Okay. Yeah. I think and I get it. I mean, it was very, I was talking to Leslie, I've talked to other people, it was very much a stripped down version of Doctor Who, back to just trying to be trying not to be like Moffat and Davies and more like what.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that palate cleanse, the attempt. I think she was wonderful. I think.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I enjoyed it for the most part, and there are peaks and troughs with everyone. I think it really kind of stuck the ending. I really liked the Crossroads thing. I don't mind a bit of fan service. I just watched 8 to 10 episodes of Picard, and it was full of fan service. I mean, people were going, "Oh, it's this, yeah," and I giggled a little bit and I smiled, and
I tended to find, I mean, I'm generalizing horrifically here, but with RTD, his peaks and troughs were less sort of dramatic, so his poor ones would be, okay, but not the best, and his better ones would be, "Oh, that's good. That's a good episode of Doctor Who."
Yeah.
Whereas Moffat was kind of one extreme to the other. It was either,
it was, yeah. There
"Oh
are
my
some
God,
bad
what have I
ones.
just watched?" Or, "Oh my God, what have I just watched?"
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like Moffat's my guy. I like his scripts.
Yeah.
I like the feel. I like the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Because each of them all have a different energy, and I enjoy his energy. But
Yeah.
that first Capaldi season for me is all over the damn place.
Yeah.
And I know there are a couple Moffat ones where I'm like, you should have been editing. Where was the editor? And I think that's what Davies is, because he's such a prolific rewriter.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Chibnall does it, and I don't think Moffat really.
You mentioned the writer's tale earlier, and he talks about being up until like 3 a.m. rewriting an episode from scratch.
I know, it's insane. He's a freak,
Yeah.
but that makes him where he's in you rank him for you guys, Potter, any couple others that I can't remember whose names I'm forgetting, and I would put him up here on this country with like Rod Serling and Patty Chayefsky.
Mm-hmm.
And who were writing 50s TV and are still kind of like, they're like Aaron
Highly
Sorkin.
regarded, yeah.
Oh yeah, Patty Chayefsky, Serling, they both started in when TV was plays,
Yeah.
Kind of like is it Potter who did the singing detective?
Yeah, Dennis Potter.
Dennis Potter, yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like that, to where you're watching his TV, but you feel like you're watching a play
Mm.
in a lot of way. There's a level, and there's a depth of writing, and I would put Davies in those categories,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he likes to write
wouldn't
Doctor
argue
Who,
with
but
that.
when you watch his other stuff, it's like
Mhm.
it's just so. It's about the craft. I'm a big Sorkin fan, and it's about the polish and the rewrite and the making sure it works. It's just great.
I'm just really excited to see what he does with it. I just think it's going to be something very different from what we've had before.
And his confidence, because he's just coming off of, it's like, I like that he's going, I've just done all this heavier stuff. It was still entertaining, and it had because he always puts a little joy in everything, so you're not, just so depressed at the end. But to just have that, you know what? I don't have anything to prove.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing to prove, except all I want to do is make the best Doctor Who I can with Disney, Sony, and the BBC's money.
And I think the timing couldn't have been better with the way things have been going with the BBC as well.
Yeah, I heard the head of
did.
BBC had to take a walk because he was dirty dog.
Yeah, it's just another day in the UK, really.
Yeah, as I say about you guys got to get them out as quickly as possible, because they're going to
we really, well, everyone I know wants them gone, but
yeah, well, definitely don't emulate our healthcare system.
No, we're desperate to keep our NHS.
Oh, I had an agent pass away, one of my team members, 2 weeks ago. She was out on sick leave. She had surgery, and there were complications. She went back in the hospital, and she passed away. And I can't imagine what her family... she luckily had our insurance, so it wasn't too bad, but she was at a hospital outside of network.
Okay.
And it could be crippling. I had a friend who had a baby.
That's the last thing you want to be thinking about when you've got a relative who's dying,
Yeah. Oh, the minute...
It's insane.
It's insane. When I was in for my hernia, I paid $200 for my hospital stay, but that was because the hospital my insurance covered the $130,000 for what, if I didn't have insurance, that's what I would have owed the hospital, $130,000. I had a friend who had twins, and I saw she posted how much one of the babies had to stay in the hospital for a few weeks. She paid $900. The bill was $1,300,000.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So people over here goes, we don't want their system. You gotta wait. I gotta wait, and I work in the fucking hospital.
Well, the reason we're having to wait over here is because the Tories have been underfunding the NHS for the last 13 years. On
purpose?
On purpose, yeah, because they want to sell it off to the Americans.
Don't do it. Don't. It's just, I don't. When do you guys have another election? When does he have to call? When does he have to call an election?
I think it's another couple of years to go.
Jesus Christ.
Well, we went for a phase where we're having an election every couple of months, it felt like. So, yeah.
All right, well, let's, overall, you enjoy this one? Was it nice to go back and watch it again?
It was lovely, and thank you for asking me to watch it again.
No, it's fine. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody coming in and sitting in the other chair.
Yeah, it was great. I left that episode with a nice warm fuzzy feeling. It was just a snippet of Christmas in April.
It was nice. I would, it was nice to watch it. When it was done, I was like, I may need to watch some more modern Who. I haven't done it in a while, and forgot how good this era is. And made me want to go to the next one because I love Martha so much.
Yeah.
And I do love that season. I think it's a really good season. So, Mark, tell everybody where they can hear your dulcet tones.
Oh, well, I have a couple of shows on the go. One of them is more active than the other. So there's Nerdology UK, which is a kind of pop culture show, and we do everything from theatre to movies, literature, TV shows, video games, so a pretty broad remit. And then my current project is All of Time and Space, which is a Doctor Who podcast that I present with my friend Ian Martin. And we are watching all of Doctor Who in broadcast order, and we have a wonderful selection of fantastic guests who come in and sit in each episode. So there's always a different voice to hear each time you tune in. And we have had a certain Mr. Ross Aitken on for the episode on gunfighters.
Yes, I came out of it with a different, a new take on it, having us kind of sit there and launch it.
That's what we aim for.
Yeah.
And I didn't make you sit through the Celestial Toymaker, so there was always that.
Yeah. Poor Jeff got you. That was Jeff and Suki.
He did, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think he's ever forgiven me for that.
No.
So yeah, All of Time and Space.
All right. I look forward to. I'm a little behind. I have not listened to many Doctor Who or comic book podcasts.
Uh-huh. Well, you're a busy guy.
Yeah, no, on the bus, it's like I need to cleanse my palate, so I'm listening to true crime, but that's getting depressing, so I'm going to go back to some lighter fare. So.
Well, at the moment we're recording, and we are just finishing up Season 5, so I need to really pull my socks up and do some editing, and before too long you should start seeing those dropping onto the feed.
Very cool, Season 5.
The monster season.
Yeah, it is. Monster of the Week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, folks, you can. I'll be back in 2 weeks with The Impossible Astronaut and the podcast debut of my lovely wife, Dr. Leslie Choplin. So that'll be unique because she's never, she's a Law and Order nerd.
Ah.
And she watches, during the pandemic, she watched every Baywatch in order.
Holy moly.
Yeah. And I would get sucked in sometimes and it was like, what the fuck? Why am I watching this? But you can find me here in a couple weeks with her, and then check out my comic podcast, Stop, Let's Team Up. I do 2 to 3 episodes a week. I do one called Opal City Confidential, a Starman podcast, where I'm covering all the Starmen from DC Comics. I do one about I'm rereading Legion of Superheroes from 1958 until I give up, and then something else about super teams or comic book team ups in rotation on the weekend. But as always, folks, thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you somewhere in time or space.